Can your iPad replace your MacBook? See for yourself. I'm going to be running a demo of the iPad out in the wilderness. Here it is. My iPad Pro. Looking out for bears and stuff. This is my iPad Pro here. Here are the neighbors. I'm trying not to get them on camera, but here I have full control of my iPad. Right? So let's go into Launchpad. And as you can see, I can open anything that I want. This is my Mac Studio that is at home at this point in time. As you can see, it all works. Right? Now let's come out and let's switch to my Windows PC. So this is just to show you guys that all you need is an iPad and a Mac Studio. And I'm outside. So yeah. So this is working pretty flawlessly. People are probably looking at me strange right about now, but as you show you guys, this thing is working. And currently I'm using my phone data. See, it's connected, so I can use this from anywhere that I so desire. So perfect. I'm heading back inside before people call the cops. Now, coming back, you saw that this thing worked pretty much as expected out in the open, and this was running right off my iPhone on data, 4G LTE, not even 5G. However, in this video I'll be showing you some caveats, some pros and cons, explain as much as possible. If I miss any, hit me up in the comments. I'll answer any questions you have and you can hash it out there. But we're going to be answering this question: can this thing function as an alternative to a MacBook, especially the more expensive MacBook Pro? This combo here is the iPad, and let's get this out of the way. There's my monitor. Let's get that out of the way. My Mac Studio, or depending on your setup, a Mac Mini, which is the budget option for many people. Right off the bat, people, I barely use this anymore. And that's really and truly because of the versatility that the iPad affords me. Best screen in the game, the versatility with the Apple Pencil, of course, and with the option of, like, for example, the Apple Magic Keyboard. I actually stole this from wifey. That's her sticker there on the back. She may kill me for showing you that, but whatever. But yeah, the Apple Magic Keyboard or some other third-party keyboard, it really and truly doesn't matter. You slap it on there and it pretty much becomes a laptop of some sort. And with iPadOS 26, guys, this thing has really and truly become a thing of wonder. Now, one other thing that I wanted to mention, didn't mention that, it's right there. It's extremely tiny. You probably can't see it. This is my Windows PC, that mini nut PC there. As you can see, it's smaller than even my hand. That's what I'm running for this demo. And of course, it's on my Mac Studio. Now, this setup also applies to more budget options. I'm reiterating that. If you have a Mac Mini, an older MacBook, well, not MacBook, iPad Air, this setup should work just as well, because as long as it's getting iPadOS 26, which should officially launch in September or October, I can't remember, you should be getting these options. Right now I'm running the developer beta, actually the latest at this point in time, the developer beta version 6, which just came out like yesterday or 2 days ago. So here we are, jumping straight into it. I'm here on my desktop, right? And here's a cursor. As you can see, the cursor is an actual cursor, pointing and everything. And in my last video, you saw me using Jump Desktop. Right now, this is my Mac Studio that you're looking at right here, fully fledged. And logging back in, actually use my Apple Watch here to log in. Didn't have to type in any password or anything. But the good thing about this is that this thing is fully integrated into the iPad, so it actually uses Face ID to log you in. That's something these things the MacBooks cannot do, and hopefully they fix that with the latest versions of the MacBooks. Right, so you get your Face ID right here, nice, easy login and secure as well, the best in the game. I have full Apple Pencil functionality, so if I want, I could go in my Launchpad there, and yeah, there we go. Now, something of note, when you just connect, because this thing was asleep, when you just connect, it tends to be a bit laggy. I'm not going to hide. The resolution also takes a slight hit. It really and truly doesn't matter how fast your connection is. Right now I'm running gigabit internet, and as you can see, a bit of artifacting and all that is there. Alright peeps, I found a solution to the whole artifacting issue on the iPad to Jump Desktop. So this is it. This is actually a simple packaging for a HDMI dummy plug. Hopefully you can read that there. Simple generic one that I got off Amazon. I'll leave a link to it in the description below, along with a bunch of others. Now, I wasn't sure if this was going to work. Thank you, the internet. That's where I found this solution here. And here it is, plugged into the back of my Mac Studio, the HDMI 2.1 port. It's currently lit up right there. Let me plug it out so you can have a look. And this is it. Now, this is a generic one, a pretty cheap one. Cost me less than 10 Canadian. And this one only goes up to a maximum of 4K 60 FPS. You have more advanced ones that can go up to 4K 120 and of course 8K at 60. But wasn't sure if this was going to work, so didn't want to go too high in investment. So let me just plug that back in and let's get the iPad back up and running. Now, this is what I love about it yet again. You have your Face ID. I just simply swipe up and I'm in. And let's get back into Jump Desktop. All right, and we're back in. Now it still has that slight dip in resolution for a second once it comes up, but here we are. This is my Mac Studio desktop here. Now let me know in the comments below if you notice any similarities with how it was before. There has been an improvement. In my opinion, things are definitely sharper. Is it worth the investment? I mean, for less than 10 bucks Canadian, I think so. Let me just jump into something here. I was watching some My Hero Academia, trying to catch up before the new season. Let's see. I'm afraid I told you so, Todoroki. The sound is doing its thing. Well, then, and it's working pretty good. You fools. Do it! What? And it works. However, it still suffers from those couple micro stutters every now and then. That's just the name of the game. That's just the nature of this thing. And it doesn't matter whether I'm screen recording or not. It happens. So that's just that. Battlefield 6 gameplay here from Jack Frags. Dice released showing new maps, guns, gadgets, and more. They keep releasing this stuff out of the blue, and alongside that, we've also got a big blog post where they actually talked about and showed Server Browser, the sneak peeks of that, some new features and some very exciting information. And this is working pretty smoothly, funny enough. If they play their skip ahead for a second there. Really does not like helicopters. These uniforms too, they look a bit lighter. Yeah, as a matter of fact, there's less micro stutters here. This look like Passchendaele. Very gritty. Take that back. Take that back. There's a starting to look a lot like Battlefield. Yeah. And then we move on to actually no, it's playing pretty smoothly, so I'm not sure if it's a case where, you know, YouTube takes less pressure and something like streaming, you know, from, you know, this website here. It's not exactly Crunchyroll, but you know, you get 1080p quality. it actually is working pretty good. So I guess it just needed a few seconds or so to settle in. And just gonna open DaVinci Resolve here. Yes, full DaVinci Resolve Studio 20 working on the iPad. Yes, it's my Mac Studio, but hey, whatever. So this is a video, funny enough, that I'm working on right now. And an update is available. I think I'll just download that. Now here I have the video open. It's the full timeline there. And let's just play, see how it performs.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Alright, Mark. You hear that? What we got? Playing flawlessly.
Substantially improved
Bring that up. And that's midway through the video. You may have seen that part already. You definitely have seen the intro already. My iPad Pro here. Here are the neighbors. I'm trying not to get them on camera, but here I have full control of and it's working. My iPad. It's working, you know, as I've shown in my previous video. This thing works. Everything works. And I mean, yes, there's some couple micro stutters here and there, so I wouldn't use this for fully detailed video editing. I mean, I like to use a much bigger screen, but hey, it definitely works in a pinch, and I can't complain with that, right? I have my big system over there for when I'm home and ready to rock and roll with my full-on dual monitor setup, my big monitors, my studio headphones, and everything is here. If I'm on the go and just need to touch up something or fix a quick thing before I release a scheduled upload, this comes in handy in a pinch for sure. Of course, productivity works flawlessly, as you saw. And yeah, so that dongle makes the visual fidelity a lot more stable. Let me show you the settings here for a second for the Jump desktop. Currently, I have it set to the Retina display resolution, and I allow it to actually mirror my main displays in the same, you know, orientation and settings to keep things a bit more seamless. You can turn that off to get full landscape of the entire screen, so that's something good. However, I like to keep it on. So yeah, so that's that. So yeah, check out those dongles. I'll leave a bunch of them in the description below. Depending on your setup, you could cheap it out like me, get a simple one or a more high-end one. Pick your poison. Let's see, let's get to my YouTube channel and let's just play something here.
Hi, I'm Mark Cerny.
Alright, Mark. You hear that?
What you got?
Playing flawlessly.
Substantially improves
bring that up.
PlayStation 5 in 3 ways. Here's what we call the big 3.
Hell yes. Let's see what you got. And it's playing. Boy. Now, I'm playing a few seconds of it just to show you. There's a slight hitch here and there in video playback. Regardless of the connection speed, whether it's the phone or my internet, this is just the performance and how it is. You may get better performance if you troubleshoot the settings and turn on resolution a bit, because right now I'm using the Retina display resolution, which is the highest resolution for Jump desktop to get, because I love visuals. If you turn it down, it will get a bit smoother, of course, at the cost of visuals. However, depending on who you are, that may not matter. But as you can see, audio is perfect. All the keyboard shortcuts work as well. And this is my desktop, right? Live in living color. I can open up the weather app and it loads. For example, everything is here and it just works. Everything works exactly how you expect it would for a Mac, right? The only downfall is a slight lag here and there. And it also works with this, the Apple Pencil, and you get your Face ID. And depending on where you are in the series, this is the M1 iPad Pro. If you have anywhere between the M1 to the M4, you're getting one of the best displays in the game. better than even the MacBooks, the MacBook Pros anyway. It's definitely better than the MacBook Air, that is for sure. Those are the main advantages and a few caveats there to name. Now another thing, another advantage as well, I actually have multiple open. Oh, your trackpad shortcuts work as well, so you can 3-finger swipe across to get into your apps, 3-finger swipe up to switch apps. Here is my Windows PC, is here, this is the desktop, it works. Funny enough, this is very funny. The Windows actually works better with the jump desktop. I don't know what it is, but the visuals are crisper. It still has that slight hesitation every now and then, but the visuals, the text, everything seems a bit more polished, right? And I can go into settings, everything works. I can open Microsoft Word. Hopefully it doesn't open some blank document that I had working on. All right, here we go. It's in dark mode currently, but as you can see, everything works. Caps lock, like, turn that on, like, and subscribe for more. All right, I'm not the fastest typer, but everything here works. Now, swiping back out, another advantage that you just saw for yourself. iPad OS, Mac OS, and Windows all in one. You cannot do that with a Mac. Well, with a Mac, the most you can do is remote into a Windows machine, a Linux machine, or another Mac machine, but you cannot get iPad OS. And you definitely won't be getting this, and depending on what Mac you have, you won't have this beautiful display. And just to show you guys, jumping into this, here are my editing apps I tend to use. You know, let's jump into Procreate. Let's see if I have anything open here. This is actually one of my high school paintings that I'm trying my hand at redoing here with the iPad and Procreate. It's been pretty successful so far. Look at all that detail. Your boy's got some skills and I'm working on that. But I can use my Apple Pencil. I have all my touch gestures. I have everything, and that is what I love, absolutely adore about this setup. The versatility. You can't get that anywhere else. And that is why I rarely ever use this. I said rarely. Rarely. I rarely ever use this thing anymore. I actually had to turn it on to update it the other day. The battery is probably dead now. Oh, I actually shut it down because I rarely use it. So yeah, the only time I used this extensively was when I was in school a couple months ago. Ever since then, and ever since I found Jump Desktop, yes, I'm late. A couple of y'all will say that in the comments. I'm late to the game. But with iPadOS 26, that is the key thing to this setup. With the whole thing, what I can do now with the files up here, it's pretty much similar to the experience on a MacBook. You know, the versatility yet again, everything now comes in like, you know, some kind of app. I'm trying to find something that doesn't have personal stuff open. Okay, good. You have, let's see, these things now, the windows now operate like actual windows. You can multitask now. You couldn't do that before. And you know, settings, I can open a bunch of stuff. Let me just minimize this. I can open a bunch of stuff and it's right there. You don't have to be using that stupid weird thing they had before. I forgot the hell it's called, mission control or whatever it's called. I'll put the name on the screen somewhere. But yeah, it functions more so like some weird hybrid laptop, and it works. It flies through everything pretty much. And that's the whole Apple optimization for you. It flies through everything. Yet again, you have the ecosystem as well, so I can be flying between my phone, my Mac Studio, or this, and I'm talking about without even using Jump Desktop. So you have the Apple ecosystem. Literally, this is the most versatile piece of tech Apple has on the market today. And for most people, that will be the case when iOS 26 comes out. Because with the upgrades that this thing received, I barely scratched the surface, really and truly. That's not the point of this video, to go through iOS 26. But take my word from it, people, when you get that update, if you have this and already have a Mac Mini or a Mac Studio, you won't be caring to use your MacBook anymore. And if you're in the market trying to decide what to get, really and truly, unless you're someone who depends on high performance productivity work on the go, save your damn money, get a Mac Mini and an iPad Air. Or if you want more performance, if you do stuff like video editing and so forth, well, you can do that with a Mac Mini quite well. I actually can do that with the MacBook Air, with how optimized it is. But if you do more demanding work, do like me, get a Mac Studio. It could be the M1 Max and up, the M2 Max and up. They're thousands of dollars cheaper than the higher performance Max series of the MacBook Pros. Thousands of dollars cheaper. You don't get no screen and keyboard or whatever, but get one of these as well, an iPad and a keyboard. Depending on what you go for, it can end up costing more than a MacBook Pro, but there's so many options, especially on the used market these days. You will definitely find something that's a lot better value. Plus, unlike the MacBook, you have so much more flexibility with the iPad now. So that's really it. You saw this thing working on the road. You saw me do a short demo. You saw my setup here, my humble little setup here. And anything that I missed, any questions you have, let me know in the description. Well, let me know in the comments below. I'll leave a link to some recommendations in terms of keyboards that I would recommend, just like I did in my previous video as well. I'm pretty much going to be linking everything along with the previous video as well that went more in depth, showing this thing working, this whole setup that I work with, to give you a truly premium high performance setup with just the iPad, a dock of some sort. Like right now I'm rocking this, not sure if you can see it, the iVanki Fusion Dock Pro Max or Max 1 setup. It's a lot of words, a long name, but yeah, a dock of some sort, the iPad and jump desktop, you're good to go. Super sleek setup. There's not much more to be said. So hit me up in the comments with any questions you have. Thanks for tuning in. You don't know, I'll appreciate a like, subscribe, and of course hitting that little notification bell so you know when the next video is out. See you in the next one. Peace out and take care.